Well, speaking of off the court jitter, let's talk about Texas. Obviously, lots of things that went on with Texas this season. At the beginning of the year, they fire Chris Beard because of some off court issues that I think everybody knows about. We don't have to get into anymore. But let's just say that Chris Beard has been forgotten with the Texas Longhorns basketball coach because Rodney Terry has taken over this squad. I'm going to say it now, and I'm sure I'm not the first to say it, but extend him now, get rid of that interim title, because if he starts making a deep run and you don't do that, I can see him getting upset and wanting to go elsewhere. So if you have any last little ounce of brain in your little head, the Texas athletic department, extend him now. Do it. Anyways, let's get back to your regular scheduled program, Steve, and let's talk about these Longhorns and how good they have been as of late. Obviously, what they just did to Kansas in the Big 12 championship game, winning by 20 against a team that has more quad one wins than any other team in college basketball. And they're doing it all under an interim head coach. This team is fully invested in what this basketball team is ready to do. They have so much experience, especially with the guards. And I know you like guards. We talk about guard play all the time. So much depth. They defend at such a high level. And the only other team that has more quad one wins other than Kansas, number 2, is Texas. This team has a great resume, and I have them going very deep in this tournament.
I do not have them going as far as you do, but I mean, I think Texas, it's a great story. Yes, again, Rodney Terry has done an amazing job there, and his track record at previous stops, I don't know that you would have anticipated that. But he really has a connection with this roster because he was the guy that was out on the road and was in those living rooms and actually got those kids to sign with Texas. I mean, the players loved Chris Beard. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Chris Beard is definitely a player's kind of a coach. But I mean, Rodney Terry really was the guy for many of them that had their decision made either to transfer there or to be recruited there to go to Texas. But the players themselves, I think, have made it a mission. Because the minute that the Beard situation broke, everybody was talking about how Texas would then stumble and how they would be able to get through that. And, I mean, have they really gelled? Because there was a lot of new kids on campus and the whole deal going into the season. But so I think they have taken it on themselves to prove just how good they are, not only as individual players, but how they mesh as a team. And that's the kind of team that can either make the run, to the national title game, or it's a team that could stumble, on the first weekend because, it's been such an emotional toll on them. Does now going on the big stage, does that help them and help fuel them more, or does that cause them to stumble and maybe overthink what they need to do in order to advance?
I think they go super far in this tournament. As I mentioned before, they start off the round of 64 against number 15 Colgate. Then they either play Texas A&M, which has been pretty good, or Penn State, who have been on a very hot run. Whether those two teams, I think they can take care of. If it's chalk, you could see them take on Xavier in the Sweet 16. And then if it's chalk, you could see them take on Houston in the Elite Eight. I think they can take on all those teams. I really do think that this is the team that comes out of the Midwest region. I'll even go far enough to say that this team is my national championship pick of 2023,
Wow.
Steve.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure, even looking at it the most optimistic standpoint, I'm not sure that I can see them going that far. I think they're in a region where they could make a run, because I think a lot of the other seeded teams are overrated, including the number 1 seed, Houston. I mean, that's still, I've already said this once in a previous clip, and it just really rankles me a lot. I mean, I don't think they have to worry about Houston. I don't think Houston's going to get far enough for them to worry. If Xavier had some more bench depth, that could be a really interesting game, because Sean Miller could flat out, as far as an in-game coach, he's certainly, certainly among the top 8 seeds as far as in-game coaching goes. I don't know that he has the roster yet to match up with Texas's depth. So I think Texas landed in a good region where they could make that run, like you said, to a Final Four, in your case, a national championship game. I just don't know if they have enough. Have they spent too much getting to this point? Now, certainly watching him in that game against Kansas, you would say, "Oh, there's plenty in the tank." I mean, they haven't even opened it up. They haven't gotten on the highway and opened up, and really got moving yet. But I wonder if that may be their high point of the season. That at some point they're going to stumble. I do have them going deeper. I do have them, going to a regional final. But I don't. I just can't see them going very far
They
beyond that.
won. They won the Big 12 tournament against a tough Kansas team. They won by 20, even though it was without Bill Self. They won in the regular season as well. They were the first team since 1999-2000 season to beat Kansas twice in the same season by more than 15 points. And they did that under Rodney Terry. I really like this team. I think they're going to go far. As I mentioned, I think they're my national championship bid. I do like that matchup, though. That could potentially happen in Sweet 16 between Texas and Xavier. That is the game that I'm looking forward to if we get that matchup. Where do you think Texas is going to end up? Are you with me? Do you think Texas can make it all the way? Do you think that they are a Final Four team? Or do you think they don't make it out of the Midwest region? Let us know in the comment description below. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. March Madness is here. We are going to have you covered every single step of the way until we crown a champion. Either it is Texas or someone else on both the men's and women's side. But until then, thanks for watching. SlasherU.